guys.
Hello.
Hi Promiseland.
Hey Promiseland.
Hey kids!
Hello Promiseland.
Hello everyone at Promiseland.
Hi Promiseland.
Hi Promiseland!
Hi Promiseland kids.
Hello Promise Island kids!
Hi Promiseland.
Hey homegrown kids.
Hello Promiseland kids. Hi Promise Island.
High five, kids.
Oh, hello Promise Island.
Hi Promiseland kids.
Hey Promiseland!
Hello Promiseland.
Hello Promise Island!
Hey kids, we're so glad that you joined us today. We are in for a treat today, but before we start, I want to make sure that you have remembered something very important. Today, lean in. Today is Mother's Day. Did you remember? If you didn't, it doesn't matter. But either way, right now, run to your mom and give her the tightest squeeze ever. Squeeze her so tight and tell her how much you love her and tell her Happy Mother's Day. Go do that right now. Do it. Now, as I said, we've got a great day in store for us. We're learning about confidence, remember? And confidence means living like you believe what God says is true. Confidence means living like you believe what God says is true. Now, something else that we've got to celebrate today, just like we can celebrate our moms, and make sure you do that the whole day today, guys. But something else to celebrate, I need to tell you guys about the Corona Kids Challenge and what happened with that. Check this out.
Corona Kids Challenge. Corona Kids Challenge completed. 15 children. Took up the challenge. Raising money to help people affected by the coronavirus. And the total is £24,400.
are so proud of you guys. That is absolutely amazing. Can you believe the difference that you can make if you just put your mind to it? Nothing is impossible. I want to ask you guys to stand up right where you are, and we're going to sing all about a light that we can shine to tell people about our wonderful God. Let's stand up.
This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
You may wonder why I'm sitting like this. Did you know that there are certain things that only 1% of all humans can do? And I want to see if you can do some of them with us. Okay, so what I was just doing, you have to put your hands out like this, cross them over, go underneath, and flip them through. And then you've got to fit your head through your arms. How amazing is that? I'm obviously one of the 1%. Now what we're going to do today is we are going to see what crazy Mike can do. Because he's crazy, but can he do the impossible? Let's go and see. All right, folks, here we are with
Crazy Mike and the Impossible.
Alrighty, now we've heard, Crazy Mike, that there's certain things that people can't do, like put their tongues to touch their nose.
Alright,
Can
let's
you
try.
guys touch your noses with your tongues? Oh, I think we've got a very close one right
Go for
there.
it. Up, 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 up.
Oh, very close. Oh, apparently people can't twist their tongues around. Can you do this? Can you twist your tongue? Ooh, we've got a tongue twister. Oh, Crazy Mark can definitely do that. Oh, apparently people can't lick their elbows. Can you reach your elbows and try and lick your elbows?
I can lick your elbow.
Oh, yeah, you can lick other people's elbows. Or, last one, can any of you sneeze keeping your eyes open?
Of course, I'm Crazy Mark. Boys and girls, I'm going to show you 4 things to do with your hands that most other people cannot do. You want to try?
Yes.
First off, let's go with the rocking fingers. Put these ones down and see if you can touch your baby and your index. Come on, let's try it. Come on, let's try it. Well, not using your other hand, just one. Can you do it? Alright, are you ready for number 2 of the hand trick? Using one hand only, you need to cross over those 2 and cross over those 2 and make a Ninja Turtle hand.
And you're not allowed to let your other hand help.
No, just one hand.
It's a very, very
Can you do
tricky.
it? Can you do it?
I can do
Not 2.
one.
You can do 1. Alright kids, make sure you're trying these at home because people say they're impossible, but nothing is impossible. Alrighty, for trick number 3, you must have your hand flat on the table. This is called the ring finger isolate. Can you lift that finger with keeping all the others down on the table? Oh yes, it's a tricky one. Don't let that pinky move.
Very tricky.
I'm gonna take this to a new level. Finger isolation. 2, 4, 6, 8. Can you do it? 2, 4, 6, 8.
Crazy Mark, I think that is impossible.
No, nothing's impossible for these fingers. Alrighty, boys and girls, this is the bonus challenge for finger strength. What I want you to do is grab yourself an egg, put it flat in the center of your hand, close it up, turn it over, and squeeze in one motion. Can you break an egg? Alright, let's check it out, boys and girls. Flat in your hand, close it up, turn it over, and squeeze.
One hand. Can you do it? One hand.
Can you do it?
Squeeze with all your might. It can't be done. Is it impossible? Let's see if Crazy Mark can do
Crazy
it.
Mark, let us see. Can he do it? Are you watching? Some things really do feel impossible, but eventually, with some courage and some strength, I crushed it. Yeah! Alrighty, for our last one. The thumb breaking, broken bone. The thumb broken, breaking, broken bone. Alrighty, what you gonna do? Put your thumb up, grab it with your other hand, and then break it. Can you believe it? The breaking, broken, the broken, breaking, broken thumb. That's me, Crazy Mike, signing off. See you later.
Aren't we so sad that's the last time we're going to see Crazy Mark? He was just awesome. But now we're going to hand over to Wayne. He has got such a great story for us. This one is going to blow your mind. God can do everything. Crazy Mark couldn't do the impossible, but God can do the impossible. Listen to this.
Hi kids, welcome to Promiseland, Lockdown Edition Level 4. Today I'm going to tell you an amazing story of God's power, which can be found in 1 Kings in the Old Testament of the Bible. How many of you can tell me what the book of 1 Kings is all about? Anyone? No, it's not about queens. Anyone else? That's right, it's about kings. Now, there were many kings of Israel. Some of them I will name to you, but I will need to read it because some of the names are a bit hard, okay? So here we go. Some of them were King Joash, King Jehoahaz, King Jehu, King Joram, King Ahaziah, Ela, Omri, and Tibni. Whew, that is quite a mouthful. They also had great kings like King David and not so great kings like King Saul. But I am here to tell you about the worst king of them all. His name was King Ahab. He was totally evil. Ahab was a little confused and a whole lot of evil. If his mum had to tell him, Ahab, don't you eat the last cookie in the cookie jar, Ahab would take it out, lick it, and put it back in the cookie jar for someone else to eat. That's how evil this guy was. Now, most of the people in Israel knew and believed in the one true God. But the surrounding nations believed in other gods, false gods. Now, even though King Ahab was king of God's people, he started to believe in one of these false gods. As king, he led his people to believe in this false god that was named Baal. Now, if you think that was bad, his wife was even worse. Her name was Jezebel. She ordered for all God's prophets to be killed. Why? Because she hated them telling her that the God that she believed in, Baal, was a false god. Now, you can honestly agree that King Ahab was a horrible king. And God had had just about enough of him. So he told Elijah to go and speak to King Ahab. Elijah wasn't much to look at, but he was a powerful man of God. He was a prophet. Now, what that means is that whatever God said, Elijah would say. Elijah went to visit King Ahab, and he told him that he had a message from the Lord. King Ahab just rolled his eyes, but trust me, he wasn't rolling it for very long, because this is the message that Elijah had for him. It is taken from 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. I serve the Lord. He is the God of Israel. You can be sure that he lives, and you can be just as sure that there won't be any dew or rain on the whole land. There won't be any until I say so. Everything that Elijah had promised came true. There was no rain in the whole land for 3 entire years. The crops had failed, the animals had died, and the castle was in ruins. King Ahab sent his messengers to capture Elijah, but they could not find him anywhere. God had kept Elijah hidden and provided him with food and water. Everything that God had said through Elijah had come true. Now, in the 3rd year, God had spoken to Elijah again. He told Elijah to go and speak to King Ahab, and once he had done this, he would send rain to Israel again. So Elijah was pretty confident that after 3 years of no rain, King Ahab would have some sense knocked into him, and he would listen. But Elijah was sorely mistaken, because little did he know that King Ahab was as stubborn as ever. So he went looking for King Ahab and found him on the road. And he shouted for King Ahab, Ahab! King Ahab! And Ahab replied, Yes, is that you? The one that has been stirring all over Israel? And Elijah said, No, that is not me. It's you. You are the one that have forgotten the one true God. You have forgotten his commands and decided to follow this false god Baal. Ooh, King Ahab got angry. Elijah told King Ahab, I want you to bring all the people of Israel, all the prophets of Baal, and come to the slopes of Mount Carmel. And there I will show you the true power of the one true God. The next morning, everyone was at Mount Carmel. All the people of Israel, all the prophets of Baal, Elijah and King Ahab. And Elijah called out to the people. He said from 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21, How long will you take to make up your minds? If the Lord is the one and only God, worship him. But if Baal is the one and only God, worship him. Then Elijah set out the challenge. He told the prophets of Baal to set up a sacrifice to put on their altar, and he set up an offering for his one true God. Then Elijah said, 1 Kings 18:24, the God who answers by sending fire down is the one and only God. The Israelites thought that this was a great plan. King Ahab was pretty confident as well. So the prophets of Baal started. They started building their altar, putting their offering on top, and they started singing, "O Baal, come down and light up our offering." And they started dancing and singing and dancing and singing and louder. But Baal wasn't listening. So Elijah started laughing and he said, "Hey, I don't think Baal can hear you. I think he's sleeping. Maybe he went to the toilet. I don't think he's listening. Maybe you should shout a little louder." And then the prophet started again. "Oh, Baal, come down and light this offering that we have sent for you." And they started dancing even bigger and shouting even louder. But Baal wasn't listening. This carried on till the late afternoon. And then Elijah said, "Enough of this. I am going to set up my sacrifice." And then he called all the people of Israel closer and said, "Watch, this is what God is going to do." And then he started building an altar for the Lord. He rebuilt it from what King Ahab had destroyed. Then he had put wood on top of it. And then he had put his offering on top of it, which was a bull. Elijah told the people to bring 4 jugs of water, large jugs, of whatever water they could find. Because you must remember, there was no rain in the land for 3 years. So they brought 4 jugs. And he told them to pour it over the bull, and the wood, and the stones, until everything was properly soaked. The bull, the wood, the stones, and it even made a puddle around the offering. Then Elijah had prayed, "Answer me, Lord, answer me. Then these people will know that you are one and only God, that they'll know that you are turning their hearts back to you again." Instantly, God had sent fire from heaven, and everything that was on the altar had burnt. The bull, the wood, the stones, and all the puddle of water that surrounded it. Now, everyone that was there knelt down and started praising the one true God. Even King Ahab could not deny this. I can hear you thinking, what about the rain that Elijah had promised? Even though there wasn't a cloud in the sky, Elijah had told King Ahab to have a meal. While he was having that meal, Elijah and his servant went right to the top of Mount Carmel. While there, he knelt and he prayed. While he was praying, he told his servant to look over the sea and check if he could see any rain. But his servant came back and said that there was none. He sent him again. Again the servant went to have a look, but there was none. Elijah sent his servant 7 times, and on the 7th time, his servant could see a small cloud no bigger than a man's hand. Within minutes, the wind had picked up violently, and the great clouds, black clouds, had grew across the sky. While this was carrying on, heavy rain had fallen. For the first time in 3 years over all of Israel, Israel had seen rain. Wow, wasn't that an amazing story? Elijah has so much faith the one true God will come through for him. He did it in front of all the prophets of Baal. And he knew that God would show up in a big way. And he surely did. Who would have thought that God would come and send fire from heaven to light up Elijah's sacrifice? I mean, that was amazing. And don't forget the bottom line. God can do the impossible. He did it with Elijah, and I'm sure he can do it with the things that are happening in your life. It's time to pray. Pray hut. Hut, 2, 3, 4. God, you are absolutely amazing. It's so cool to see how you did something through Elijah that seemed like it would be impossible. Please help all of us to have confidence like he did, to really believe that what you say is true, and to live differently because of it. We know that we can trust you and that you're with us even when things seem impossible. We love you and we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Nothing is impossible with God. Isn't that such great news? And you can know that whatever you're going through at the moment, whatever you're feeling, nothing is impossible with God. And so we're going to stand up now and we're going to sing about our super wonderful God who can do everything. At the end of this song, I want to see you pull out some really fancy dance moves. And that's it from me. We'll see you next week.
My God is strong. He'll do